Alrighty, my friend. Yeah, it's very late. Can you imagine? 12:30, and I started my day about half an hour ago. We had breakfast at home. My wife ordered some rice crepes, steamed rice rolls, and now um, I'm going to just read this book before leaving, before going out. I think I read chapter 1, so now chapter 2, getting ahead. The ease of having an ambition. The ease of having an ambition. The ease of having an ambition is that it can be explained to others. The very disease of ambition is that it can be so easily explained to others. Hold on. I don't understand this. The ease of having an ambition is that it can be explained to others. The very disease of ambition is that it can be so easily explained to others. I don't understand it. David Whitey. I need to look up this guy. He appeared in this book multiple times now. Yet I don't know who is this. World-class hoop jumper. The term hoop jumper was coined by writer and former professor William Derishvili to describe the behavior of his students at Yale, who seemed more concerned about getting A's and adding bullet points to their resumes than using their time at one of the world's best universities to follow their curiosity. Focused on landing good internships or jobs, or getting accepted into graduate schools, his students based their choices on which classes and activities would improve their chances. Many had been playing this game for their entire lives, moving from one elite school to the next, fueled by lofty parental expectations. Even though I ended up playing the same games, my childhood was remarkable for its lack of pressure, hands-off parents, and a genuine love of school. In high school, I was a top student but never considered applying to top-ranked schools. I was only interested in going to the University of Connecticut, my home state school. The biggest reason? I could get $5 tickets to sit in the student section of the men's basketball games. When I was accepted, I was admitted into the honors program and assigned to live in a building with other honors students. I didn't know it at the time, but this would have an enormous impact on my future. I was surrounded by people with bold aspirations and impressive achievements. People with perfect SAT scores, 4 scholarships, and 5-year plans. I was genuinely surprised to hear about the extensive processes that some students had gone through to pick a school, weighing the trade-offs among scholarships, rankings, job opportunities, and access to grad schools. I just wanted to go to basketball games. But these people became my friends, and I started to want what they wanted. They embodied a success ethic that focused on maximizing achievements in the present to create better options in the future. I started to resent the high school I had attended, where the guidance counselor suggested I try a major other than engineering because it was hard. Why hadn't people pushed me harder? Should I have applied to better schools? As a late arrival to this game, I didn't have the baggage of anxiety and stress that a lot of my new friends seemed to have after years of chasing achievements. I was shocked at how some of them worked to exhaustion, filling their schedules beyond what they could handle. I wasn't willing to compete on that level, but I still wanted to keep up. So I became obsessed with figuring out the rules and learning how to hack the system. During my first semester of college, I created an Excel spreadsheet of my schedule for the next 4 years. Wow. Then I cross-referenced it with a site called readmyprofessor.com. so I could optimize my schedule based on the easiest graders for my courses. In my second year, I used that too. I suddenly remember, yeah, back then we would check every professor before we sign up a new class every semester, and we would share in the groups what are those classes, which section of that class would be easiest to pass. It was not the right thing, man. It was not the right way to pick a course and go to college. In my second year, I figured out how to petition the school to take more than the maximum 18 credits so that I could add easy classes, as we called them, guaranteed A's, to my course load. When I started college, earning an A was table stakes for my honors classmates and me. This was the result of decades of great inflation. By the mid-2000s, 42% of college students received A in their classes. This was a shift from the past. In the 1960s, earning an A was the third most likely grade after C's and a B's. For us, since getting an A, it was not only possible but expected, my classmates and I spent as much time finding loopholes to improve our grades as we did studying for the test. I loved finding the loopholes. My dual engineering and business degree was challenging, but it conveniently avoided the hardest engineering classes. I also took classes at weird times to get easy grading professors. I still pursued impressive achievements like graduating with honors, but I picked a thesis advisor and classes that wouldn't push me too hard. With every internship offer, things list award, and scholarship I earned, the intoxicating feeling of success ran through my body. I felt like I had it all figured out. I was becoming a hoop jumper just like the risky students at Yale, internalizing the idea that education is doing your homework, getting the answers, acting the test. I had not developed a sense that something larger is at stake, as the recipe says, and only was playing the game of student, not using my mind. Strategy consulting. By the end of my junior year, I had a high GPA, completed multiple internships, and had won several awards. Yet, as I entered senior year, I was about to commit to the first goal worthy of my hoop jumping ambition. I decided to attempt to break into the elite world of strategy consulting. Strategy consulting was born out of the growth of the manufacturing industry in the late 1800s in the United States. Originally referred to as consulting engineers, people like Frederick Taylor, Arthur D. Little, and Edwin Booth worked with manufacturing plants to increase their efficiency and profitability. They eventually helped establish some of the first consulting firms, and throughout the 20th century, these companies evolved and expanded in scope and ambition. By the time I graduated, it was a multi-billion-dollar industry with hundreds of firms spanning the globe. These firms worked with CEOs and senior executives on large, important problems. For young, ambitious people, they offered the potential to skip climbing the ladder and work directly on the most interesting business problems immediately after graduation. Initially, these companies only hired from elite schools like Harvard and Yale. Later, as the industry expanded, they recruited more widely but were still selective. The University of Connecticut was not one of them, and instead was what they called a non-target school. I knew it would be a challenge to break into the industry, but I still wanted to give it a shot. Committing to this goal gave me a mission, which also helped me ignore the growing anxiety about the transition from school to the real world. I had no wisdom to draw upon for navigating this important phase in my life, other than what everyone around me was doing, picking a path. The modern world offers an abundance of paths. In one sense, this is great. It is result of an industrial system and resulting prosperity that has created opportunities for people around the world. However, the proliferation of paths presents a challenge. With so many options, it can be tempting to pick a path that offers certainty rather than doing the harder work of figuring out what we really want. A friend, Rajit Sambi, who has since left law to pursue software development, shared that he was attracted to the law profession because the steps are laid out for you. A career in the law signaled to others that he was a serious, intelligent person. But the longer he spent on the path, he realized that the real promise had been that life's existential fears are traded for certainty. The path that Ranjit and I were drawn to also offers something else: prestige. Though hard to define, prestige can be thought of as the attention you get when you do things that others see as impressive. Paul Graham, the founder of a startup incubator and mentor to thousands of young people, sees this attention as a trap. In his view, prestige is a powerful magnet that warps even your beliefs about what you enjoy. Ranjit and I were both pulled by the force of the impressive stories associated with prestigious jobs like strategy consulting and law. These paths are too good to be true for driven young people who want to turn their success in school into something tangible for others to see. Zen philosopher Alan Watts argued that the desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing. And that we look for this security by fortifying and enclosing ourselves in innumerable ways. We want the protection of being exclusive and special. This was exactly what I was looking for. Entering my senior year of college, the pull of prestige took the wheel and I started plotting ways to overcome my status as a non-target application. Cool. It's 12:39. You ready to go up?
Yeah.
You can do it on the way. You don't have to.
Okay.
Alright. Thanks for reading with me. Bye.